Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. I'm sorry. I was sitting here and we were starting and I was about to say hello and I looked down and I've cut my hand and I didn't realize it. So I had to run and get some alcohol and stuff to clean it up. I don't know. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't start immediately when it ended. But oh my gosh, you guys. I say this all the time. I think that there's no way she could surprise me, but she continues to do it. So we have a new filing in Leticia's lawsuit, and she wants a restraining order because she has been retaliated against so much for her original complaint. So here's the plan. We're going to read through this restraining order. Then we're going to have Little Red, who got the court documents for me, and Jin Liu up on panel to discuss what we've read. I think they'll be in around 5:30. And yeah, so that is what we're going to do. It's short. It's only 4 or 5 pages. So yeah, but hold on just one second, you guys. So sorry. The retaliators are at it again. They just keep on. They really do. Sorry, I had to get my little napkin wet over here. What the heck? I've made a mess. So Jay, thank you for being a member for 27 months. Holy cow, it's a long time. And I think you've been here even longer than that. As just a viewer, but thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's really sweet. And yeah, not surprised there's more Tisha stuff to get into. I don't know why I am. I don't know. You'd think I would learn, but anyways, hey, Adrian, hey, Bogart, Pointer Lover, Diana, thank you guys for being here. Michelle, Catherine, Dead-Eye Danny, NW, Hippie Chick, Tess, Nurse Kristen. She is the victim always. Nancy, Brandy, anyone I missed. Hey, Pika. Thank you guys for being here. So, all right. Motion for temporary restraining order. It was filed April 10th, so just a couple of days ago. And here's the thing. We also have something else to talk about today. So when Leticia was moved from the prison in Colorado, no one knew where she was because she's high profile. They, were keeping it a secret. And eventually it was said that you could find it on this app, the Getting Out app, which is for texting inmates. Now, I have the app anyways for other reasons, and I don't really use it now at all, but I still have it. So using that app, I tried to find her and add her as a contact. We found her, found out she was in that prison. So that's where we got confirmation that she was in Kansas. And I tried to add her and immediately she blocked me. Well, then she would start unblocking me and allowing and sending me these messages. I guess she knew about my channel. I don't know. I'm sure, somebody is watching and telling her. And I would never have the opportunity to respond. Finally, she unblocked me. And then now it's been a really long time since she has tried to message or I've heard anything from her. And a couple of days ago, she sent me a message. Now, I haven't responded or anything, but I figured I'll share that with you guys as well. It's regarding the lawsuit. So we'll get into that after we read through this. Imagine my surprise when I look at my phone and it's you have a new message, the Getting Out app from her, So anyways, we will get into that in just a minute. Let's take a look at this. Motion for temporary restraining order. Plaintiff moves the court for a temporary restraining order as plaintiff has faced extreme retaliation for filing original complaint for failure to protect and First Amendment rights. The restraining order sought will restrain defendants Donna Hook and Dalton Harpence from retaliation, abuse, and anti-Semitic behaviors. The anti-Semitic thing is it really pisses me off because here's the thing, especially with the war that's been going on and stuff, there are a lot of people out there that just hate you if you're Jewish or Palestinian or many other religions and backgrounds. Like, people will hate you just because of that. There is a lot of anti-Semitism going on, and it's disgusting. She takes things that are real issues for people and exploits it. Mental health, she did the same thing. Or how about inmates who are being mistreated, because it happens. But when you have somebody like this speaking out and being dishonest and claiming it's happening to them, then the real people that it's happening to, aren't going to be taken seriously. No, Little Red is just a viewer here that is able to get these because she has, with Pacer, it's like a court documents thing where you have to have either work in the legal field and stuff like that. She has credentials where she can get the documents, and she's been getting the documents. So, yeah. Yeah, imagine how awful she was when she was free. Ain't that the truth? So she goes on to say, 1, as a result, for filing legal action for failure to protect defendants, have placed plaintiff in a restrictive housing unit from August to now without a hearing or any justification for this other than retaliation. Now, this is going to be interesting to see because, Leticia, they're going to respond to why you're in restricted housing. Plaintiff is listed as a general population resident and has not had any disciplinary reports from August 2024 to now. However, the placement in restrictive housing was retaliation for filing this suit and failure to protect. Plaintiff was placed in Pod 4, where the failure to protect happened with defendant Dietrich, the accused, as the officer in charge from August 2024 to December, before he was removed. During this time, plaintiff was attacked by a mental health patient in front of a captain and harassed by a transgender resident with sex crimes against women. Oh, God. Because now she's getting all this, putting all this into this. They're filing, they're going to have to respond, and I'm sure they're going to set her straight on a bunch of this shit. So this tells me she was attacked by a mental health patient in front of a captain. We just stop right there. That tells me, we've talked about this so many times, people don't take too kindly to anyone who hurts children in jail or out of jail, right? And if you're in jail and you're in there away from your kids and you see this woman who's done what she's done, and why she's in there, yeah, I'm not surprised. So she's attacked by someone else and then harassed by a transgender resident with sexual crimes against women. Defendant said that plaintiff should learn her lesson, oh my God, for filing the lawsuit. So she claims that they told her, you're going to learn a lesson for filing this against us. And that the negative effects would continue if she did not drop legal actions. Plaintiff has remained DR free, disciplinary report free, for 10 months and has followed all rules of defendants even while they were retaliating. Plaintiff asked when she could be removed from restrictive housing as she was not in there for disciplinary, and defendants responded that the retaliation would end when she dropped all civil actions. So she is claiming the jail told her, we're putting you in restricted housing until you drop the case. I cannot believe her. Like, these are huge claims. Where's your proof, Tisha? The retaliation continued, and on April 7th, so to get a restraining order, it can't be about stuff that happened, months and months ago. It needs to be current. So on April 7th, plaintiff left Pod 3 for chow with Officer Eleanor, who walked down the hallway with her and called her over the staff radio that she was walking down to meet another officer who was waiting for her at the dining hall. Also, I want to let you guys know, something funky's going on with my service, with my internet, where it cuts out for like 5 to 10 seconds here and there. I'm going to get it figured out, or, do whatever I have to do to fix it and adjust. But just to let you guys know, if that happens, that is what's going on. So Topeka Correctional has followed this procedure for the plaintiff for 9 months since being housed in restrictive as a general population resident, and has been authorized by all these people and several officers. On April 7th, the plaintiff did just that and passed defendants hook and heart pins along the way as she followed a direct order from officers. Defendants retaliated and said that even though she followed orders of officers, that she would face punishment because she continued to pursue legal claims. Wow. Defendant Hook said plaintiff should enjoy wearing yellows as a result because, quote, the color would go good with the Star of David, unquote. Oh my God. I cannot believe her. So she says that, can you guys see like an employee at the prison, not just an employee, if I'm not mistaken, that's the warden. And another person that's pretty high up telling her, oh, you're going to look good in yellows. It'll match your Star of David. And even if they did, it's clear that you're pretending to be different religions when it suits you and when it gets you what you want. Anyways, Hook was mocking plaintiff's First Amendment claim filed in this case for her denial of practicing her Jewish religion at the prison. Plaintiff did not receive any disciplinary reports or break any rules at the prison during this incident as she followed an officer's order. However, defendants have told staff that plaintiff could not be served any food, use the phone, take a shower, or leave her room at this time. Oh, whatever. So they told her, sorry, you're not going to be allowed to eat, use the phone, shower, leave your room, or anything until you drop this lawsuit. I'm sorry, I don't think this lawsuit has threatened them all that much. Honestly. Look at how they've responded. They have their facts, in order, and their facts seem to be on their side. I don't think they're worried or scared about this lawsuit. I just don't. Not enough to risk threatening her like that. And here's the thing. There's not going to be any proof, so it's just her word. What is her word worth? It ain't worth shit to me. I'm sorry. Not after you've lied so many times. Like, you've lied since the beginning, time and time and time and time again. Captain Thompson called Cobb and relayed this message. Cobb and UTM Valdoria came to plaintiff's door on April 9th and relayed this message. All staff involved admit that this is retaliation from Hook and Heartpins, but are afraid of retaliation themselves. All the officers involved admit that the plaintiff followed their orders and that defendants are imposing this punishment because plaintiff filed a failure to protect claim. Plaintiff is asking the court to order Hook and Heartpins to stop the retaliation, to return plaintiff to normal status, to stop the anti-Semitism, and to stop denying plaintiff a shower, food, and other rights of general population residents. Let me check on you guys for a minute and we'll continue. Hey, Fragile Like a Bomb. Can you imagine the warden having time to care about the color? I know, RL, it's unbelievable. The proof is, trust me, bro. Sorry, but with this one, I just can't do it. This is why death penalty is the way to go, because they have way too much time on their hands with nothing to do but waste tax dollars, Dead-Eye Danny says. Hey, Justin. Ooh, get some good groceries. It's easy. She's a dumbass, Adrian says. They have seen this play before. That's it, Shraddha. They literally, look, prisons are full of manipulative liars. They are used to it. Hey, Aries girl. But these are huge claims. It still surprises me that she would be willing to do that. Oh, my God. Of course, somebody's mowing grass like pretty close. Hopefully it's not too loud. Y'all let me know. And then I'm muted. Let me know if you can hear it. And then I'm muted. I'm so sorry. I had to cough though and didn't want to cough in your ear. So 2, the plaintiff's losses would be irreparable if defendants continue to, quote, fail to protect, unquote, and discriminate on religious rights. Defendants are now handing down punishments that are cruel and unjust and are discriminating, and retaliation is clear. The harm imposed is physical, emotional, and mental, and is irreversible. The court is aware of physical harm of no food, no shower, or exercise movement, and continuing to fail to protect. In addition, the mental harm of continued retaliation without DR since August and of mocking the Jewish faith. You are mocking the Jewish faith. Oh my God. It makes me so mad. Like I said, think about it. There has been a huge war going on between Israel and and six. I'm back. Oh God, it had to, there's our first time of it knocking me off. It was like 6 seconds. But there's a lot of stuff going on in this world. It's not funny. It's not a joke. This isn't something to use to get your way. Diana, mute. Okay. Palestine. Yeah. Well, they're technically, what is the terrorist organization called? It's like escaping my mind. Hamas. But regardless, there's a lot of people, innocent people, who have lost their lives, and there's a lot of discrimination happening on all ends. And it's just not cool to use this. I'm sorry. It just grosses me out. But surprise, surprise. So number 3, the potential injury to the defendant by the temporary restraining order sought could not possibly counterbalance the irreparable injury to the plaintiff if defendant's conduct is not restrained. Number 4, plaintiff contacted all parties involved to rectify the issues without success. Plaintiff has had family contact KDOC. How are you having family contact them if you're not allowed to talk to anybody? How does your family know? And she said that nothing could be done because none of this was in policy and that KDOC did not retaliate. Plaintiff then filed TRO, and a copy was served to Holly Chavez and the warden's office in KDOC. So let's go back to the top because, like I said, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, Donna Hook is the warden. Hold on. Just 1 second. I'm not happy about that lawnmower. Yeah, so I just Googled who's the warden at Topeka Correctional Facility, Donna Hook. That's what I thought. So she wants a restraining order against the warden. She's working really, really hard to be moved. That's just that. So now, Lil Red, I'm going to just wait for her to come up and Bendy, and we'll talk about it. But let me go ahead and get that damn message now. So if you guys were here, Lil Red joined me last time that I went through a lawsuit update. And again, she's the one who's got them for me. Matter of fact, let me drop her channel link and Jen's channel link. If you guys haven't checked it out, maybe you will like their channels. There she is. Hold on. There you guys both are. Just 1 second. Let me grab exit.
Okay, I had to use my phone today.
Hello.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm good. Really good. Got my
I'm good as
PC
well.
fixed.
I think there's some kind of weird feedback in your. Okay, I think it's done. Little red. It says test on your thing, your name.
Oh, isn't that funny? Okay.
But I think the way
Well,
we'll do.
it works anyway, right?
Yes, that's fine. We know who you are. I think the way we'll do this though, to keep from like speaking over each other, is like answer one at a time. Like, I don't know how we should do it. First, let me ask, we'll just go in order of like my picture, then Jen's, then yours, Little Red, just to make it easy.
Okay.
Have you guys been listening to this? She's filed a damn restraining order against the warden and claiming that they told her, we are retaliating from you. We are not going to let you eat, call anyone, shower, or move out of this protective custody or whatever she's in, this behavioral custody, until you drop the civil suit.
I mean, yes, I've listened. First of all, Leticia, shut up. Nobody's doing that to you, okay? If you're getting any hassling at all, it's probably from your fellow inmates who have just now realized that you got them to sign on to this lawsuit and you don't know what the heck you're doing. Shut up, Tisha.
What do you think, Lil Red, about this restraining order?
It's just all that attempt to get moved out of Kansas. She doesn't want to be there anymore because she doesn't get her way there. And I hope they keep her there, or they move her to Arizona where she can live in a tent like the rest of them do. That'd be perfect for her. That's what I think. Because I don't like her. You know that.
I know, and I think you're right. I think she's definitely trying to be moved.
Yeah, I mean, remember she said it was Prisonland. What happened to that? What?
Yeah. What happened to Prisonland? Bendy, do you think she's trying to be moved?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's definitely trying to get out of there, because what she doesn't realize is she thinks that this is unique to Kansas. She thinks that they're putting her where they are because this is how Topeka Correctional Facility works, but it's not. Leticia, you are a violent offender. You're going to be put with other violent offenders. But on top of that, you've murdered a child. So that's extra protection that they're going to have to provide to you, because nobody likes child killers. Stop it. You'll find out, Leticia. Keep it up, idiot. Keep it up. Nobody is doing anything to you at that prison. None of the staff. They're aware of your baloney. They're aware of your brand. You need to stop.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. They'll have, no matter what, dude, you're going to have to be somewhat alone or, kept away from the others, because people will want to hurt you. You want to complain now that people have been bad to you. Wait until you're in general population with a bunch of people who are being kept away from their kids and stuff. No.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Y'all are absolutely right. Keep her exactly where she's at.
Yep. I agree. And what happened to Prisonland? Okay, so speaking, if you guys don't know in the chat, and this is good to get us into this message. When we were Jen and I were doing the calls and the files, but mainly the calls, and we found out where she was at. We had to add her on this app, like I said at the beginning. She immediately blocked me, so I never even could say anything to her. She would unblock and then respond to what Jen and I would say in our videos. And it was crazy, because it would be so many different points that she would respond. She would unblock and be like, and by the way, no, I do talk to Harley, or just shit like that. So finally, she unblocked me, and I kind of gave her my thoughts. I told her I thought she should, tell the truth and hold herself accountable, that people deserve that his family deserved that. She needs to stop playing games. She kind of put me in my place a little bit and said, who are you to demand anything from me? I don't owe you shit. And I felt like, well, that's true. Not me personally. Then she went on to say, if you think I don't go to my cell and cry, you're wrong. There are times that I have to put on a tough face because where I'm at. And that was basically that. There wasn't too much more. And I had done a video on it, but I took it down, and I haven't wanted to like use this for content really. So if it comes up, or like in this instance, she just sends us one random message, we'll talk about it. But otherwise, we really don't talk about it too much. So the other day, after we did the lawsuit update, I get this message from her. Are you still bored? Because, by the way, she said that Jen and I were obsessed, very bored. Like, how are you so obsessed with me? My God, who has that much time on their hands? So she says, are you still bored? You and Lil Red? If you were really tired of my shit, as you say, you wouldn't continue to worry about it. It's kind of ass backwards thinking, don't you think? So on the last live about the lawsuit, Little Red came up. We talked for a few minutes, and every time we've talked about it, I've always said you've gotten the documents and stuff. So somebody's obviously told her, what we were saying.
What shut up, Tisha. Just shut up. Shut up.
That's perfect.
No, I'm not. Listen, lady, don't waste your pennies sending messages like this. This is ridiculous. I ain't fixing to take life advice from the likes of you. Okay? Bye.
Me
Yeah.
neither.
And
you
you're
know
right.
what? I will continue every time I see something. I'm giving it to Miss Alex Erickson, and she can do whatever she wants to with it, because I want everybody to know exactly what this ignorant person has done and keeps doing. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for sending it all to me. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
And I'm continuing to drop both Bindi and Lil Red's channels in the chat as we talk about it. So Queen of Petty asked how. This is a prison texting app. But like I explained at the beginning, the whole reason it started was they were keeping her location secret. Someone had shared in like a Facebook group or something, I think, right, Jen? That like, hey, you can see her on this app in Kansas. So I went and tested it and tried to add her, and she knew who I was immediately and blocked me. And this went on for like a long time through our coverage. You may hear us, if you go back to old videos, like kind of talking about it a little bit as things were happening. At the time, though, she would unblock and say, you guys are idiots. I have the best life. I'm in prison. I can order whatever I want to eat. I can buy, any movies I want. I sit here and listen to music all day. I watch cable TV. I watch wrestling, football. I'm so happy. And then the lawsuit comes out.
Oh my God.
So what do you think will happen with this? Both of you guys, like, okay, I'll ask Jen first again. We'll just go in that order. What do you think will happen? Like, I'm surprised this hasn't been thrown out yet. But okay, so just to be clear of what we're looking at, we have this huge lawsuit. She's made all these claims. They threw out half of it, and they're investigating the other half, where she claims sexual assault, retaliation, that stuff. Now, on top of that, she's filed an order of protection against the warden of the prison she's in. How could that even work? And she's claiming that the warden literally looked at her and said, you're not going to get to shower, to eat, to be moved out of this cell, to do anything you want until you drop this lawsuit. And by the way, you'll look good in yellows because you'll match the Star of David, which I guess she's just going to have to claim that they said it to her vocally. But what will happen? Like, how these are bold claims, and I don't know. I'm just mind blown that she's doing it, and I'm curious what's going to come of this.
This actually happens all the time. Prisoners are quite litigious, okay? More often than you would think. Let me tell you what's going to happen. It's going to work. First of all, she's not going to get any dadgum restraining order. That's ridiculous. Okay. And by the way, Leticia, since when did taking away showers become a punishment for you? You don't shower anyway. It's like you're allergic to hygiene. So what's the big deal there? We all know you're not eating. Okay. Don't make me run to you. He said you looked humongous, baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember those? Yeah. It's always the same thing over and over there. I'm not eating. They won't move me. I can't shower. You don't care about showers. Don't play with these people. Nothing will happen. The only reason they're giving her any they're looking into it at all is because of the alleged essay. They have to take that one seriously because it does happen.
Right.
But it's not going to go anywhere. This isn't going to go anywhere. And eventually they'll get sick of it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas is working on another transfer for her. She thinks she's going to go back to Colorado. Maybe she will. I doubt it. She might, just because she has her appeals there. But she's not going to be in Kansas, which is what she wants, because she thinks anywhere's got to be better than where she's at, except for they're all the same. It's prison, ho. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Lil Red, what do you
That's
think?
so funny. Jim Lou always makes me laugh. That's just too funny. Well, I mean, yeah, she's not going to get away with this. She will never get a restraining order against the warden. I mean, that just doesn't happen. She's doing her job. And this dumbass, who's supposed to be the prison lawyer, she helps everybody else file their lawsuits. Wow,
Mhm.
dumb. But I don't think she might get transferred out, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon, because the one thing they're not going to do is give her what she wants. They're not going to do that. And it's not because they're uh, just being mean to her or whatever. It's because she is there because they made an agreement with the state of Colorado, and until the state of Colorado decides they want to change that, nothing's going to change. That's what I think. So.
Mm. Oh my gosh, it's so interesting. Now, what about these claims though? Like, because no one would hear this. She does say that the other officers, it's pretty in depth. So she's claiming these people said this, and the other officers who she was with at the time, not only did she follow her orders, but they told her that this was wrong, basically. So will the judge bring in all these witnesses to like get to the bottom of this restraining order, do you think? Or will he just throw it out? That's what I'm curious about, because I want to know the stuff that she's bringing up. If they fight back, it's going to be interesting to hear what they have to say, because she claims they've been keeping her in this specific housing for damn near a year, restrictive housing since August, and that they told her she's not going to leave. And this is it's confusing because she says here one thing, but her lawsuit says like something a little different,
Right.
but wordless. So will they bring in each person and like investigate each claim? Or
I mean, you notice that she's filing civil, not criminal.
yeah.
So what they're going to do is they're going to probably handle it much the same way that they handled her lawsuit, and they're going to see if she tried to go through the actual system in place there for reporting things like this. Find out probably not. I mean, look, it's very on brand for Leticia not to follow any type of directions, because why come? I mean, it's I'm Tisha, I don't have to. So
Why come?
yeah, why come? I mean, so that's what they're going to find out. Then they're going to find out. They're going to pull probably, these defendants' work records to see if they were even on the clock at this time, and they might, conduct some type of investigation internally at the prison. But I mean, the fact of the matter is Leticia she wants to be with the people that are getting out of prison. And she's not going to get there. She's where she's at because of her crime. And she just refuses to accept that. At this point, she's being intentionally obtuse.
Yeah.
I agree with Jen Lou on that 100%. And I don't think you put yourself in the place of the guards that work there. No, there is no way they're going to go anywhere and say, "Yeah, that's what I heard the warden say. Yeah, that's right." They're not going to do
Right.
that. She's just, I mean, no. It just didn't happen. But Maria Sanchez may have thought she heard that. That's why she wrote that, right? Maybe it wasn't Leticia. Maybe it was Maria over there, telling her in her ear that's what happened, or or her vampires or whatever it is. I just think she's so crazy, and she doesn't surprise me. What's coming next? That's what I want to know. Anyway.
Yeah. How does she keep surprising me? Because she really does. Like when I saw that she had followed this, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like filed this? I mean, are you kidding me? A fucking restraining order against the warden? Like,
It's just damn funny. It's just damn funny.
Only this boo-boo the fool would even think that this is going to work.
Right.
so look here. This says that she claims here that she was attacked by a mental health patient. Now that means another inmate, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so I'm not surprised by that. Like, we knew that would happen. And then she's claiming she's been harassed by a transgender resident with crimes against women. And she's such a bigot. That doesn't surprise me either. She really is. If you think about it, she has
Yes.
kind of, like she loves to put people, like use people of whether they're, she loves to use Mexican, Black people to accuse them of crimes and things like that. Mentally ill people, she just uses anybody who's at a disadvantage or could be at a potential societal disadvantage. And it's messed up, dude. It really is.
Yeah,
like,
she's very bigoted. You're right.
Yeah.
See, I think she grew up that way. And this is why I'm going to say this. Okay. Like she grew up as a member of this Lumbee tribe. And like I did a little research on that tribe itself and, all the way back to the 1700s and this kind of thing. And I think that's why she's that way. Now, we may have grown up one way, but that's not how we act in today's world. We've learned that what our parents taught us was not exactly right. Now, I know your parents probably did not teach you that, but of course you're a lot younger. But anyway, that's just what I think. I think that's why she's that way. But anyway,
Yeah. I think you're right. Actually, that's pretty interesting because think about Aunt Brenda, Aunt Brenda on her calls and stuff, and she obviously had some. She wasn't happy that Harley had a boyfriend that was African American. It was great. And though you're right, a lot of older people have a different way of looking at the world. Things that used to be acceptable are simply not acceptable these days. And it doesn't really matter, even like it is interesting and it tells us how this happened, but also it's not an excuse. You learn to do better. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but at her age, she should be able to understand what's appropriate these days, even if she was as a child not taught anything. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who aren't taught shit like that.
I agree. That's right.
And they adjust change. Okay, so look at this part. It says the defendants said the plaintiff should learn her lesson for filing the failure to protect and that the negative effects would continue if she did not drop legal actions. She's claimed she hasn't got any disciplinary reports, but she says plaintiff asked when she could be removed from restricted housing. And they said, when you drop all civil actions. It was relayed to her by a captain. And then on April 7th, so just a couple of days ago, she says she left pod 3 to go eat. And she was walking down the hallway. And this is when the warden comes up to her. Let's see. And Speaker has followed this procedure. She passed the defendants hook and heart pins along the way, and defendants retaliated and said that even though she followed orders of officers, that she would face punishment because she continued to pursue legal claims. Defendant Hook said plaintiff would enjoy wearing yellow as a result because the color would go good with the Star of David.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that, Leticia. Stop it. Look. This is the problem. Now I know Leticia ain't logical, but we are, okay? Let's think about this logically. If you were somewhere and you were at the mercy of these people and they straight told you to your face, if you don't drop this civil action, not only are we going to keep it up, it's going to get worse. Would you then make a claim like this directly, or would you, I don't know, go through a third party, Amy, like she used to?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. This is why this makes no sense. Shut up, Tisha. You're wasting paper and time. We've had enough. All of us. I'll be right back. I got to step away for just a sec. Okay.
Okay. I just wonder though, will the judge look at this and have to answer, have to look into those, or can he? It's obviously ridiculous. Most people would look at it and say, this is bullshit. Nobody said that. But does he have to investigate that, or can he just at his discretion say, sorry, it's not happening?
See, I think this could be somewhat like the Martinez report. They'll say, no, we need to investigate over there. And they probably will of some sort and get, talk to all the employees, the guards, etc. See if anybody heard that. They're not going to listen to they know that she lies. They have seen this over and over. This is not new for her. Just like, she claims to be we'll go back to the Star of David thing and the yell and all that. My
Yeah.
God, she is not Jewish. She never was Jewish. In fact, here's a little tidbit for y'all. The Lumbee tribe has been Protestant, mostly Methodist, since the 1787s. They were never Jewish. So she decided to be Jewish when she went to prison or jail and saw, oh my gosh, their food comes covered
Yep.
and they don't get a chance to spit in it or whatever because, she's heard all these horrible stories. And I'm sure it does happen. I'm sure it does. But to try to save herself from having any of that to ever happen to her. She's going to claim she's Jewish, right? You know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just think it'll be some kind of little report that's written, and it'll all be just thrown out because it's not true. It doesn't make sense, and it never happened. So that's my thought on it.
That is so interesting, though, that they've been Protestant or Methodist since the 1700s, and that lines up because we know that, she claimed to be Christian before
Right?
this. You know?
She sure did. She was always Christian until
Yeah.
she went to jail.
Yeah.
So,
Which I've heard that a lot of inmates will do that. They'll because they want those meals. But her dumbass, you know what? It probably would have worked for her. She was on that plan to get the kosher meals until she bragged to an officer about, making this dessert with everybody that didn't have kosher ingredients. Like, you're a dumbass.
well, that day it wasn't her. Remember, it was Maria Sanchez, and she is not Jewish. Just remember that. Okay, that's what I think it is, but I don't know. That crazy ass, or could be one of the other ones, Taylor, whoever she is that day. So I
Yeah.
don't know. It's not that we're making fun of her, and I know people are like, why are you making fun of her? It's not that. It's just that think about all of this. I mean, who is going to take all of this serious when you've seen all the things that she's done all along? I mean, who is going to believe any of this? Now, when it comes to essay English, we've kind of talked about that before. Yes, every bit of that should be looked at. I don't care if you're in jail or
Yeah.
not. That should be looked at. But all the rest of it, no, no, and no. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's my take.
I 100% agree with you. I really, really do. So, Crime, Crochet, and Coffee, I started that. I'm going to come back to that in a second because there's a couple lies that are obvious in this. But here, this is the part where she says, all staff involved admit that this is retaliation from the warden and Hartpins, but are afraid of retaliation themselves. All officers admit that plaintiff followed their orders and defendants are imposing this punishment. So do you think they're going to call in these officers that she's naming here or no? Because I hope they do. I hope they do a full Martinez, like you said, and we get all the information from that.
I think they have to. I mean, she's filed, even though we know she's never going to get it a relief. You're not going to get a relief like that against the warden. But I think because she's filed it, they're going to have to do some kind of report. It's not going to be called a Martinez report. I'm sure it's going to be something else but I'm sure they're going to have to do some kind of report to investigate whatever it is and then report back so that they can dismiss it. So
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to take, but yeah. We'll go ahead and get copies of whatever it is. I guarantee you that.
Well, it took a while, remember, for that Martinez report. So maybe it'll take a minute, but yeah, I can't wait to see it. And, okay. So just real quick before I go to my next point, like with Crime, Crochet, and Coffee's comment, speaking of your channel, just in case Leticia's little person happens to be listening in, even though she doesn't get phone calls and might tell her, have you covered that book that was written about her case? Weren't you going to read that book?
No, I did not do that one yet.
Do you plan
so
on
many,
it?
well, I'm going to do it at some point, but there's so many other people, talking about it or whatever. And, it's hard to get people to come and listen to you if there's 15 other people talking about the same thing. But not that that's what's happening, but I just thought, well, I'm going to do my Charles Manson series first. Well, it's Charles Manson compared to Ted Daybell and the cult situation. And I'm going to do that one first. And then I'm going to come back to Leticia. So
Okay.
I just
No,
thought
I
that would work better.
understand.
Yeah.
I think it's actually good to just want to do something different and be unique in a way. I really do. Especially I just wanted to make the point that you definitely know from A to Z everything about this, all of her history. You've been here in our chats as we've went through all the files, all the calls, everything. Like you're up to speed on what she's up to in her BS.
Thank you so much.
Especially since she named you in the message. I wanted to make that
Well,
clear.
I hope whoever's reporting back to her, please report back to her again. Please do. And come on over to my channel. When I'm ready to talk about this, I'll make a big announcement and you can just come on in and say whatever you want to say. Go tell her. Y'all just come on up, come live with us. Whatever you need to do, we're fine with it.
Yeah. Hey,
God.
I'm serious. I've wanted to talk to Amy in the past. I don't know about now, but
Yeah.
you know. Okay, so here's the point. Okay, so Crime Crochet and Coffee said, wait a minute. I thought she doesn't get to eat, which she did claim, but then she talks about going to chow. And then she also said, she says in here she's been kept from the phone or being able to leave at all. But then at the end here, she says, plaintiff has contacted all parties involved to rectify without success. Plaintiff also had family contact Heather Cumming. So how did you tell your family? Did you send them like smoke signals? I'm confused.
Boot like Hogwarts owl all the time, every
Mhm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
She just said an owls.
Oh my God.
Yeah, probably.
It's unbelievable.
Maybe she's like Lori Vallow and has a little portal over there, and so she just portals into their closets, maybe something like that, or the Victoria goes out and tells them, or something. Because, but she's lying because how did she contact anybody if she can't use the phone and she can't eat? So here we go
Yeah.
again. This is typical Leticia. AKA Talento, AKA Schlitzlinger. Schlitzlinger. Ugh.
Yeah.
I can't stand her. I just can't stand her. Just something about her makes me want to just, you
Do you
know.
think she's gonna just keep doing this like
Yes.
forever?
Yeah.
Yeah, she will.
Yeah.
Yeah, she will.
Just a lifetime of filing lawsuit?
Yes.
Like what else does she have to do?
Nothing. That's why.
If you do it too much, can they restrict you?
Ooh.
No.
Oh.
I mean, okay. If it becomes a frivolous lawsuit situation, but what I have, what's missing from these filings is what she wants. I have yet to see her ask for a dollar amount.
Yeah, she has not given a dollar amount, I don't think. Now, she has said in one of the past ones, like she wants the interstate compact to end or whatever.
Right.
But you're right. She said she wants like some kind of monetary damages or something, but she doesn't say what.
Exactly. It's so see when you I mean, you can be in trouble for filing too many lawsuits and, get to a situation where, you need to have permission to file a lawsuit. But, yeah. I mean, I agree that with Lil Red and with you, Allie, that the essay claims, those need to be looked into. And, but beyond that, I mean, this is all just lies. And yes, they will. The thing about corrections officers, though, is I feel like they have, I don't know if union is the right word, but it's kind of like teachers. They have a system in place for them to be able to talk and air grievances that will keep them from, they don't have to, like, if it's their supervisor, they don't have to go to their supervisor. It's outside of the prison. It's outside of the work environment that they have a system in place. It is kind of like a union in that way, that they can go and they can talk to, if this is happening, right? And they're afraid to, tell the truth that Leticia is really the model prisoner. Which, I mean, come on, Leticia, you can't be a model prisoner. You've broken rules in there. Stop playing, but if that's the situation, they have those officers have resources. So I mean, it'll get looked into. It will. And,
Right.
there probably will be retaliation. She probably will be punished. by not getting, I mean, they might end her, you know, I don't know what they'll do with her, honestly.
Well, you know what? If she's lying, shouldn't she be punished? Like,
She should.
yeah.
Absolutely,
Okay.
she should. Yeah.
Now,
Oh.
I want to ask a couple things more about Leticia, but just to break for a second, because I know both of y'all are both knee deep in this too. I'm pretty sure you've been watching all the trial, Little Red, right? I know Jen's been streaming it.
Uh-huh.
How did everyone like Charles's date telling Lori Vallow Daybell, "Don't flatter yourself"? Oh, I love it.
It was the best. It was the best. It
Oh.
was
Oh
one of
my
my
gosh.
favorites parts. Second, the only thing that was better than that, my very favorite part is Kay giving Lori the what for when she said, "No, but I've seen a bunch of evidence that you have." You know, that part, yeah,
Yeah.
that was my favorite. But this has got to be my second.
Well,
Oh,
let me
yeah.
tell you something that she don't realize though. See, Lori's gonna go over there and do pro se and all this other stuff. Here, a skilled attorney would have said when she added the end of that, it's either a yes or no question. It's really she didn't. It's how it should have been answered. She could have had that stricken from the record because that's not what she asked her. She didn't need to answer that. Just like Kay didn't need to add that extra little bit tidbit on there either. But because Lori's so stupid and didn't have a real attorney, now it's in the record. They get to keep it in the record, and they're going to think about these things whenever it goes to the jury. When they go to do the verdict.
Well,
I
right,
mean,
but a real lawyer never would have asked the questions of Kay that
right?
Lori asked. So all the
Mhm.
way around, you know. And look, I hope that, you know, at the end of the day, I hope that this was in some manner cathartic for Kay, because it's not like she hasn't testified at Lori's prior um, trial, but this was them being able to, this was Kay's way, I guess, of being able to confront Lori in some small way and get out what she wanted to get out. And you know, good on Kay. You know, good on her. Lori, keep doing what you're doing, dummy. The jury is just, you know, you're just making it easy for the jury. This is going to be one of the shortest deliberations yet. Good luck to you. Whatever.
It's been, I gotta say, like, I'm glad that she represented herself. It's just been interesting to kind of watch her, because for so long she was this mystery. Now we're getting interviews and like the Dateline and the Fox 10 interview. And even though we learned so much from the Idaho trial, we didn't even get to see it in real time or hear it. So I'm glad, like, it's been interesting to watch her. You know, but yeah, and Tess, I agree when Kay said, "Oh boy," it was,
yeah, that was my favorite. While she's taking a sip of water, oh boy,
yeah.
Amen.
And what, I couldn't hear you. That was another good moment. What, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Woo, total dismissal, right? Yes, I loved it. Loved it.
Okay, so now I looked this up, vexatious litigation, but real quick, AU Mom says, "I'm 10 minutes behind. I was a victim advocate for about 10 years in the Army. If anyone filed an unrestricted sexual assault complaint, I had to launch an investigation at the proper level," which is what, you know, it seems like that's what they're doing. I know they're taking that serious because they threw out a lot of her claims. So for those of you who haven't been following, this lawsuit it's been going on a while. And at first she had all kinds of stuff. Now they threw out a lot of it, but the judge, you know, wanted more information on many things from both her and the defendants, which are the warden and a lot of the employees at the prison. But what is happening now, just a couple of days ago, she has filed a restraining order against a warden and one other defendant. And that's what we've been going through. And we were kind of talking about, if can you ever be punished for too many claims? Because she makes a lot of claims against people, pretty bold stuff. Not only the SA claims, but, you know, all the other stuff too. And during the process, I think she's opening a door she may not want open, because she claimed they were retaliating before and taking her tablet and stuff. Then we find out, no. When the Martinez report came out, you sold your dirty ass sweatpants on eBay, and that's when you lost your tablet. So now what are we going to find out from these claims? I really wonder if there will be more. But anyways, I will post the link, like the documents on my Patreon on the free tier. You don't have to join as a paid member, just a free member to get all court documents and stuff like that. I don't want to sell those. It feels icky. Whether I pay for them or not, I wouldn't want to do that. But okay, so vexatious litigation is legal action which is brought solely to harass or subdue an adversary. It may take the form of a primary frivolous lawsuit or may be the repetitive, burdensome, and unwarranted filing of meritless motions in a matter which is otherwise a meritorious cause of action. Filing vexatious litigation is considered abuse of the judicial process and may result in sanctions against the offender. So it says sanctions. What does that mean? I know I've heard it, but I don't know what it means exactly. Okay, it says it's a means of enforcement to provide incentives for obedience with the law, punishment, severe fines. Interesting. Can they keep her, though, from doing it anymore is really what I want to know. Oh, my gosh. I didn't mean to do that. So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. But while I have you guys here, and Jen and I have been waiting on these damn body cam footage, what do you guys think we're going to see in that? So, if the chat doesn't know, we found out during the trial that Al actually said that Leticia had made these claims of burglary and someone breaking in and stuff. And I remember we heard that like he came home and there was like a hammer hanging I don't know, some weird stuff happening. So I had never seen, Jen and I were talking about it, and I had never seen anyone get these body cam videos. So I reached out to El Paso County and I asked for the reports first. Soon as I got the reports and said we were going to get the body cam, of course, I did see, a few other people or another person saying that they were now getting this body cam, which is pretty random. It makes no sense. Whatever, though, at the end of the day, what do you guys expect that we'll see on this? Because it's been forever. We're going to contact her this week and find out when we should expect to receive them. But what do you guys think we're going to see on it? Like, I just can't wait. I'm really glad the kids won't be on it. We know they weren't there, but we are going to see Leticia and what a staged burglary looks like in her.
Oh, God.
I'm sure it's going to be utter ridiculousness. I'm sure it's going to look just as ridiculous. Her staging effort is going to look just as ridiculous as we imagine. I'm sure that there's going to be, she's going to be probably very hyper. You know how she is, and the police officers are going to try to contain her as best they can.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be like absolutely noticeable that it's staged. But what do you think, Little Red?
I agree with Jen Lou. I mean, everything she does is always, she spent her whole life manipulating everything and everyone around her. That's how I mean, I know she's not diagnosed as a sociopath. I know that. But you know what? I think she damn sure is one, or whatever the new terminology is for it, because when you look back at her, everything she's done, it's like some kind of a game she plays until she gets what she wants, then she's done with it and she moves on. I mean, it started with Al and, G-Man's mom. I mean, just that whole situation. It's going to be the same kind of a thing. And if I remember correctly, one of these stagings happened about 30 days before before the actual crime happened to little G-Man, which makes me sick and I want to cry. But anyway, I think it was that close to it. I think she did it to gauge would they believe her or not. Or was there somebody looking, or is there somebody out there that was stalking her and like they meant to get her, but they got him, some kind of weird dreamt up bullshit that she comes up with. I mean, that's what I think, but that's just what I think about it. But anyway, there you go.
Oh, that's so interesting. I never thought about that. Jen, do you think this could have been part of like her planning, or like, because I kind of thought maybe just trying to get Al's attention, Al to come home, but it could be like gauging a response too. That's interesting.
Me and you talked about this months ago. I said there's something about those reports that feels like she's gauging response times.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. No, baby. No, it's all right. It's been a long time and a lot of things happened. But yes, I absolutely do think that it's quite possible that she was staging some things or trying to see gauging response times. Absolutely, yes.
Wow, man, that is freaking insane, dude. She's diabolical. She really is. She's just, ugh. I don't know. Neat says, I picture her looking very fashion. I picture her wearing like some bright neon flowery ugly outfit. But yeah. Oh my God. That's crazy to think about. So do you guys think she planned how far obviously you think she planned somewhat what she did, but how far ahead?
Mm.
Or did she plan like some sort of emergency event, but maybe not what it was? Because I could see that for sure. I think that
Yeah, I feel like it's really quite possible that, you know, see, I need to go back and look at things, but if I remember correctly, right around the time that these burglaries and whatnot were happening, it's also right around the time that Gannon was going to the therapist.
Right.
And so I'm kind of wondering if I sometimes I wonder about Leticia. Sometimes I wonder if what she intended to do was, set a fire and then quote unquote rescue Gannon, but it was too late or something like that.
yeah.
It's because there's some unanswered. Listen, but I want to be very, very clear. Okay. At no time, at no point do I think that they don't have the right person. Leticia absolutely committed this crime. She is exactly where she belongs. I'm trying to get to the why because I want us to understand so that when if there are red flags that we can figure out, perhaps we can save another child. That's it. That's all. I am not trying to get that hoe free. She needs to be
No,
exactly where she's at.
Mm.
I no, and I want to, of course, for that reason, I think it's always important to talk about these things when they happen, like in a preventative way for preventative reasons. But also for me, it's like trying to understand it. I don't know. It's like fascinating feels like the wrong word, but it is trying to understand how a person can be like this and do what she did. And what she did was just so cruel and heartless and just, I don't know. There's so many different aspects for me that have me still completely hooked and I want to know everything. But remember, she did mention to the police at one point, I don't remember where, but she talks to them about how her and Gannon talked about planning something like some sort of an emergency to get Al to come home. She says, like, remember, we were talking about telling him, we wanted him to come home. I can't remember what it was, but let me know if anybody or if you two remember that. Because I know that there was something like that. And then also, just really quickly, I want to say thank you so much to Debbie and love you back. And I haven't seen you for a bit, and I saw your comment, and I hope you feel better. I'm sorry you're going through that, and I'm just happy to see you. And yeah, hey, look, there are a lot of times I watch and I don't chat too. See, even in my own friends, sometimes you're just not in the chatting mood, and that's,
Yeah, sometimes you're just not. Hey, Debbie, it's good to see you.
Man. Do you guys remember that though?
I do remember that little bit. I do remember that. She did tell them that, but you know what? I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if they really ever discussed that or not because it seems to me like Gannon would not participate in that. I just and think about this too for a second. That little white car that she turned back in, according to this other book that I have, says there was 955 miles put on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true. I
How
remember
in
that.
the hell and where did she go from the time she picked that car up to the time she took it back to get 955 miles on it? What the hell was she doing?
I know. You know what? I remember this from the time that it was breaking before we had any of the facts or anything. When some of the first, like maybe the arrest affidavit was leaked and
Yeah.
people were like, whoa, where did she go? That's a whole lot of miles. It makes no sense. I don't know.
It, I just don't think Gannon would participate in that. I think that's just her victim blaming. Because the one thing we know about these people, I mean,
Yeah.
Lori Vallow, Leticia Stauch, every one of them victim blame. They do. It's just part of their
True.
messed up psyche.
Yeah.
So
Lori's
I
doing
don't
it
think
right
he would.
now.
Yes. So
You might be right. Maybe he wouldn't, but also I could see him like missing his daddy and just wanting him to come home too, But I definitely agree with you about the victim blaming because we're seeing Lori do it right now with Tylee, So well, I don't know of anything else with this. I guess Jen and I will be live as soon as we get those body cams. But before we go, I know. And thank you, Little Red, for always getting us these documents. Like it means a lot to me. I really appreciate it because these are things you guys don't understand too. Like these are things we would never know because a lot of the stuff in these documents you're not allowed to FOIA request in that state. So regarding like her complaints, her grievances, that kind of stuff, we would never know any of that. So I'm so thankful.
You're welcome, and I'll continue to do it. Every single time I see something, you will be getting it. I'm excited to do it because I hate her that much. But anyway, y'all have a good evening. I'm gonna go take care of dinner for my family. I enjoyed coming up with you so much. It's always so much fun. I used to be shy and afraid, but I'm not afraid anymore. So
Good for
Good.
you, Lil Red. Good for you. Don't be afraid. It's just
no, not at all.
people
So I'll see y'all
talking.
tomorrow. So
All
thank
right.
you so much. Bye,
Thank
guys.
Bye.
Thank you for coming up. Hey, Bendy.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys, like, before we go, what are you? Uh-oh, I think she's having trouble getting it off. I can't.
Help her.
There we
There
go.
she goes.
Thank you so much, Lil Red.
Bye, Lil Red.
What are you thinking about Lori Vallow's trial happening? And I know you got some plans. Something you might be doing. You want to talk about that at all, or?
Yes. Okay. So I did talk about this a little bit on Friday, but I've been asked to cover the Karen Reed trial. And this is my plan. Okay, guys. I'm going to stream Lori's trial tomorrow because they don't, Karen's doesn't start until Tuesday. So I'll stream Lori's tomorrow. And then what I'll do Tuesday on is I will stream Karen during the day. And then I will do the highlights of Lori in the evening, because let's be honest, if we really break down exactly how much testimony there is during the day with Lori, it's really only 3 or 4 hours max of testimony. So there you go. That's my plan.
That is exciting and interesting. I'm interested in the Karen Reed stuff. I don't know. I don't want to say too much about it because it's been a while since I've looked at it. And I think, I guess we'll have to see what comes out at the trial this time, but
yeah.
Do you have any, like, what do you think about so far what you've seen with Lori? And I haven't seen Adam Cox yet. Like, what happened with that?
You still haven't seen that?
No, I was busy that day. And then you texted me and you were like,
Nope. You're blocked and reported. You're not in my chat listening, waiting on bated breath for any little thing that I might say. Blocked and reported.
Nope. Stop right there. Nope. I'm done with you. Get the hell out of here.
Well,
no, but I was crazy that day.
Oh, you're cutting out, babe.
Kay's on the stand.
Yes. Oh, yeah. As soon as the prosecutor called her to the stand, I immediately text you.
Yeah. And so that I missed before that. And he was right before that, So, and thank you so much for doing that. And I came in there.
Yes,
late,
she did.
Still on, but I was so pumped to be there. And I'm always pumped to support you and whatever you're doing. But, we all sometimes got shit going on. But regardless, what happened? What do you think?
So Adam basically testified on direct that, Charles was Charles's confidant. Charles was desperate to get Lori help. See, that's the thing. What I think we have missed, because of the fact that these trials don't get covered, like this element of Lori's crime happened in Arizona. So Idaho wasn't really trying to deal with it as much. You know what I mean? But they mention it, but they don't go into detail. So I think what we missed is that the bottom line was what Charles really wanted was to get Lori help. And he was not having any success speaking to her family except for Adam. And so Adam was basically the conduit between Charles and Lori's family. And Adam was just as worried about Lori as Charles was. But when she got up there to question him, she asked questions that might have made sense in her head and connected some random ass dot. But as far as the jury doesn't, it connected nothing. And the best part about it was she asked him, you don't remember us getting together, and how I make my green chili chicken enchiladas. And Adam looks right at her and goes, no. And it was my favorite, one of my favorite parts too. And she did refer to him repeatedly as Mr. Cox. And, it was just, it was, I think that she had been advised by her, standby counsel. Listen, Lori, don't be an a-hole. I know that's your brother and everything. They were not Adam and Lori weren't all that close.
Right.
But
I had remembered like what you said, like he was helping Charles, like he was on Charles's side.
But the other really interesting fact about talking to Adam was what he said about Alex Cox. See, that trip in, he was supposed to be with Alex. And they had talked about it. They had made these plans, yada, 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 whatever. And Alex completely ghosted him. He gets on the flight. He lets Alex know, hey, I'm getting on my flight. Lets Alex know, hey, I've arrived. Yeah, and Alex is like, new phone, who dis? Just left him on, I don't even think he read the text, completely ghosted him. And then after it's all said and done, Adam finds out that the night that he was due to arrive in Arizona, Alex was spending the night at Lori's house. So it looks less and less like an accident and more to me. See, if it wasn't if this wasn't, I think that the reason Alex spoke to Adam and had Adam come out is to bolster this. I had plans. I wasn't even supposed to be here, blah, blah, blah. But my sister called last minute. Well, if that were the case, then why didn't you answer your brother's calls? Why didn't you tell your brother's text? Why didn't you tell your brother, hey, bruh, I'm, Lori and Charles, he's coming down to pick up AJ, or to pick AJ. Sorry, I looked at the chat. To pick up JJ, and I don't, she doesn't want to be alone. She asked me to come. If it wasn't planned, then if it wasn't a trap to murder Charles, why didn't you tell Adam where you were at, Alex? That's what makes it look actually to me really more conspiratorial than anything else.
Do you think that this is going to be like a slam dunk for the state, or do you think there's enough that it could be close, or what do you think? Just so far, because not everyone's testified and everything, of course.
But. Oh yeah, she's not. I mean, just what she's done with the people that have asked the questions, that just the people that have testified so far and the questions that she's asked them. No, she's not making any headway or scoring any points with the jury at all. She's not creating a lick of reasonable doubt at all.
She's just trying to, I think, like based on the interview, especially that she did prior to, it seemed like she was more worried about like confronting people, and
yes,
rather than kind of proving innocence or trying to show, which I don't believe she's innocent, but you know what I mean, trying to show or win her case. Oh my God. Kaylin, by the way, oh my gosh, I've missed you. It's been forever since you've been in here. Good to see you. Kaylin was with us through all Leticia stuff, Bendy.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lori chose to represent herself for a couple of reasons. One, and I think this was the priority to her, she wanted an opportunity to confront a few people. Okay. Kay being one of them, the
Mhm.
main one. But I also think that I think, thought that this was going to go the way that it did in Idaho, where this state, she was going to push for a speedy trial. And somehow, some way, the state wasn't going to be prepared. But that's not exactly how it works. And what
Yeah.
she's not thinking of is she
They had
didn't
a
waive
lot of
her
time.
right. Yeah. Huh?
They had a lot of time
They've
before
had a
too.
lot of time. They've had a lot
Mhm.
of time to prepare for this.
Yeah.
And even though Lori has tried to throw, everything, mess it up any way she can by sending out late subpoenas, not handing over because she claims she doesn't know, or her investigator doesn't know the phone numbers of people that she wants to testify. If you intend to call a witness, you have to give the other side notice. The other side gets an opportunity to depose them prior to taking the stand. It is what it is. And, Lori is an idiot. And, I'm in support of this trial, even though it won't change anything like for Lori's sentence. Okay. She's going to go back to Idaho regardless. But I do think that it's high time that Lori be held not just morally responsible, but also criminally responsible for what she did to Charles, because she absolutely set him up. That man, bless his heart, he walked into, Allie's gone. Oh, she's back. He walked into a trap that day. He
Yeah.
absolutely did. They
Yeah.
set it up so that she,
I switched to my phone. That's all.
oh, okay.
But Kaylin, if you missed the beginning, you will want to rewind. Tisha has filed a restraining order against the warden and someone and another employee. But okay, Jen, I have to go eat in a second, but I wanted to ask you about one more thing. Are you following at all like the Kohberger stuff as it's unfolding?
Yes, I am.
I'm so excited for that
Me
trial. Like,
too. Me
did
too.
you notice? Like, I never would have known this if we hadn't been doing Casey, which tonight, you guys, and just at 8 o'clock, we're doing a quick, it's probably going to be pretty short, like last night, because it's like 25 minutes of testimony on Melissa's, the rest of the one from last night. Well, it's a new witness, but the same video. But, anyways, I wouldn't have known this without following that.
Okay.
They had Casey lowered in her chair, right? And Kohberger is literally sitting lower than Anne and the women that are representing him. They
Yes,
have
that's
him lowered way down.
intentional. That's
Oh,
intentional. I
I
think
know. It's crazy.
I think the biggest takeaway from that I got so far, because I'm not all the way through his hearing, but on Friday or Thursday, excuse me, was or whatever day it was, Wednesday or Thursday. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm exhausted and my week has just run together. But
It's okay.
whatever day his hearing was, when I covered it at lunch, I thought it was really interesting, the argument made back and forth between the prosecution and the defense about the cell phone activity between Dylan and Bethany. And even this, the defense even said, there's more to it, which is what I've been saying. There
Yes.
is there's this abrupt thing that comes at that Dylan says will text to Bethany about Xana wearing all black. It fits nowhere in the flow of the conversation that they're having at all.
Yep.
So parts are being left out. And so
Yep.
and also when the state files something, mainly it's going to be the defense filing things right now because they're trying to preclude evidence in. So this is the arguments really are there during the pretrial hearing really is the state's perception of the evidence versus the defense's perception of the evidence. And it's only a snippet of it. It's not all the evidence they have because they're not arguing every single piece of evidence at all. So there's a lot we don't know that is coming in, and we don't know how it all fits together. And that's why I want to caution people, particularly when it comes to Dylan and Bethany. We
Yes.
don't understand what happened that night. We do. Debbie, thank you so much. I miss you too, babe. We do not know the full context around around those text messages. Please, please give Dylan and Bethany a break until we see it all. Once we see it all, listen, if something is hinky, I will be the first person to say something.
Yep. Look, I'm right there with you. It's so upsetting. There are times where I've been watching Melissa cover it because I will talk about it, especially during when we get to trial. I'm not covering every little thing, but I'm watching and I'm watching like over at Melissa's. And there are times where I've had to shut the chat because people are just, it's stressful. And I can't imagine how those girls must feel. There's a lot that's left out. There's actually one other point too where it doesn't flow. There's obviously been like a call or some messages that were not included. I don't know when people are going to open their ears. They've already got their minds made up, and not these chatters in here. You guys already know, most of you guys, I know you do, but when we get an arrest affidavit, when we get a filing, even when they release these text messages, they don't include everything. They only include what they feel like they need to for one reason or another. Maybe, and there could be many different reasons why certain things are left out of things like that. But we're not seeing it all. It's not until we get to trial that we're seeing it all. And, please be cautious. These are, they're not kids, but they're pretty much kids, and they've been through a lot, and we need to wait for the facts. It's important enough to wait and serious enough to wait. And the last thing, Jen, I know I've been covering, like, I'm going back through the Watts. I've only had one live so far, but this kind of fits in with that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you ever make a full, like, we never got a trial. They didn't even do a full investigation. We were talking about it on the phone last night, but the police even said we wanted to keep investigating. We wanted to keep going. We weren't finished. But that was Tammy. She said it right on like
Mm-hmm.
Oxygen or Lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how do we even make it? Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think that sometimes it bees like that, sis. I mean, that's what I think. Like, it's frustrating. But there's really nothing that we can do. I mean, the state released what they decided we could get, and that was it. And we're not getting anything else. That's it. That's all. It's over. And
It sucks. Yeah.
it does suck. But I mean, at the end of the day, I do believe the right person is responsible. And
Right.
I also believe that, and we're just going to have to be satisfied with that, because there isn't anything else we can do unless somehow or another there's some type of confession. Let's say, somebody, slips and says, yeah, I helped,
Right.
there's nothing that we can do. And it's frustrating. It's
It's
very
so
frustrating.
frustrating. Yeah, because, and you're right, there's nothing we can do. You have to accept it. Or in the case of Idaho, you have to wait.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you can't like discuss and give opinions. And my opinion is I believe that they have the right person, but I also believe there could have been someone else either after or during. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to just say. And if you think about it, like with the Dylan and Bethany, I don't know. It's a little different though, because Miss Nicole Kessinger, destroyed evidence and stuff
Oh
like that.
yeah. Yeah. No, 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 no. Let's be very clear about this. In my opinion, based on what I know right now, Dylan and Bethany are victims.
Yeah.
I suppose that NK was recognized as a victim, okay, but she, exactly like you said, she deleted a bunch of text messages. She was, I don't really want to leave Jim alone. All of her crap that she did. And then on top of it, she was going to try and flip things around and take an Amber Fry approach. But you were no Amber Fry. Amber didn't know. You knew. You went to that woman's house. You know it. I know it. Chris Watts knows it. And all the people in this chat and every other chat who've ever talked about this specific visit know that you knew that you went into that woman's house. I don't give a rat's fat kneecap if they actually were divorced or not. You were wrong for that, NK, and you know it. Period. The end. You are no Amber Fry. And she came forward immediately and didn't start deleting everything. And then on top of it, she worked with the cops. Get bent, NK.
Yep. Totally different, but also, interesting. And at least with Idaho, we're getting a damn trial, and I can't wait for that.
Right. I mean, I don't think that, and I don't know the NK. I think NK was the catalyst for everything. But I think at this point, I really do think that Chris Watts is the one who is solely responsible for taking his family's life. I just think she lit the dynamite. She lit the fuse. She, not
Yeah, I
directly,
agree.
like she didn't ask him to do that. But, just because she didn't participate in it doesn't mean I have to like her. I'm never going to blame her because there's no evidence at this point that she did anything, but I still don't have to like her. I don't, it was Chris. Chris made he was the one that made the vow to Shanann. Okay. He's the one that betrayed his family. But NK, you hold some responsibility for going to that woman's home. Period.
Well, you know what? I'm going to wait on my opinion on that till I go through these documents. But I've thought she could have been there. We already know about, but like, for instance, Jen, on like page 1 or 2, I see that the garage door before anybody was there that day. You know what I
Say
mean?
that one more time. You cut out, babe.
The garage door was opened like long before Nicole and her son and the police were there that day. There was an alert, but it was only on Shanann's phone. It was off of Chris's. It's in the police documents that I've read, like in the first 2 pages. And those are the things that make me like, huh? You know what I mean? How?
Yeah.
What? So
Yeah.
it's hard. But I guess I'll have to see what I think.
It was probably Dieter. Dieter was probably like, send help, send help, send help. Dieter knew everything. And that's the thing, is that poor Dieter, he was down in that basement when those cops were there, and he was just trying to tell everybody what happened. He did it. He did it. He did it. He did it.
Yeah,
Poor
yeah,
Dieter.
that's true. But see, no, this was the garage door, like it completely opened. The one that you had to press the button from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's like those kind of things that make you like, and that's on page 2. I got to go through like a bunch more pages. So I'll give my opinion because I have really irresponsibly given my opinion on this case over the years. I cannot believe myself, honestly, because the way I look at true crime now versus when I started is so different. And I have given, like, I just never looked at all the facts for myself. I've listened to people I trust go through the documents. Like, I've heard Amber read through some of the documents, her and CDT, even back in the day. And
I remember those days. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I've never myself read through page by page. And I feel like, and to get on here and have such a bold opinion, I need to do that. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
finish it up.
Well, good
But
for you. I'm proud of you. Listen, I will
thank you,
always be
ladies.
here to support you, but I am not getting, do not drag me back to this fucking island, please. Do not drag me back to Watts Island, but I will be here to support you. But you can, I say that tongue in cheek. You can always come to me and be like, Jen, what do you think this means or whatever? Of course, I'll still talk about it with you. But Watts Island was such a mess. Uh-oh. Did we lose Allie? Uh-oh, I'm in charge. Now you're all in big, big trouble. Yep. Big, big trouble. It's just me. Uh-huh. Yes, Tess. It's interesting to find, but see, here's the thing. There's always going to be some questions, even going through those documents that remain, because we don't get all of the documents. There's a big, huge, there's stuff that they don't release to the public. So, and yeah, ATS says she'll join you whenever, Allie.
I know. I'm so excited. Thank you, Amber. I love that because I told her when I started, I was like, if you anytime ever you want to come up and please do, because I love to hear from her, and I can't wait for her to get back on the tubes with us. Like I miss
I
Amber.
know, me too. Me too. Come back. Come back.
Baby, come back. But I heard you. Then my mom called, so I
You can
think.
blame it all on NK. She had a brown bikini that was terrible.
Did you say I love it? I support you, but I'm not getting back into wasps or
I said,
something.
I said, don't drag me back to that island.
Maybe just for a little bit.
I can come. I will always talk to you about it, of course. It's just not something I want to cover on my channel because I can't do it anymore. And
Yeah,
so,
I definitely get that. Well, okay, my mom's blowing me up. I guess I gotta
uh-uh.
go. She's called twice now. She just called again. I don't know why it didn't mess with the audio that time though. But thank you so much for coming up, and
You're
thank you to
welcome,
Little
babe.
Red too. But yeah, thank you. I missed you. That's why I wanted to like run through a couple cases. I talked to you last night, but I just missed talking true crime. You know what I mean? I wanted
Me
to talk.
too. Me
So
too. Me too. All right, babe. Well, thanks for having me up.
thank you for being here. And Little
All
Red,
right.
thank you for coming. And you guys, please check out their channels. I'm going to drop their links one last time. And again, I'll put the documents over on the Patreon. Before I even go to eat, I'll do that really quick. And yeah, I'll see you guys. Actually, I'll see you at 8 o'clock over on Melissa Jade's. So
I'll
please
see
come
you
over
guys
there.
in a little while.
Okay, Bendy. Have a good night,
Bye.
guys.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.